Welcome to Image Fillers. This is going to be our little bit of a run through of the Image 3000 that you purchased. I'm going to go over a few things real quick just to kind of explain some of the names that we use for things. This is our fill head up here. This is where all the motors sit. That's the fill motor on the very back. Inside the fill head we're going to have a clutch brake and a motor end reducer for turning the agitation. This is the level control in the front. That goes down inside the hopper. It's two tuning forks that vibrate. These are your hopper quick release clamps. You have 4 of them. This main hopper here is what holds the product. Back here is your hopper support, L bracket, and coupling. When you take the hopper off, you're only going to release this bolt right here. You're going to remove this bolt right here. There's 2 pins on the back of this L bracket that are self-aligning, and once you remove this bolt, undo the clamps, the whole hopper will pull down along with the L bracket and coupling. It's all together. When you put it back up, you put it right back up in its spot. You're not going to want to touch these bolts right here. These bolts are going to be staying there forever. Now we do have a couple bolts underneath here in case someone does remove these bolts by accident. It still won't come off, but this is already lined up from the factory. You don't want to take these bolts off. We actually have a little picture here of saying where to remove, do not touch, and what to touch. This is the column, post that holds up the filler head. This is your main control box. Here's your conveyor. This is your lift. Inside the conveyor here, these bolts are holding up a vibrator. These are your air cylinders, index cylinders we call them too. This is your photo eye to see the bottles and start the initiation. And this is your conveyor. Again, guide rails are here, guide posts, guide blocks. All this stuff, just some of the names that are common, something we use. This is your screw jack that lifts up the hopper. And let's now just go over a few things with some of the things I just talked about. This screw jack here, there's a little set screw in the back of this head. You would loosen that up, and then you would take this jack handle, put it right into the screw jack, and raise up the entire head. It goes up 9 inches. Once you're done, you would use a set screw and rotate it back in. These are your solenoid valves back here. This is where your air goes, your main air goes, to operate the air cylinders and the lift. Back here is your contactors and overloads, and where your main power comes into. And you have 220 3-phase power and a 110 for your controls. The 3 phases for your motors. This is just like your circuit breaker box at home. If something trips out, you take this box off and reset it. On the side of this, let's go over the controls real quick. On the side of this control box, you have your conveyor speed pot and your vibrator intensity pot. Around the front here, you have your main emergency stop switch, your fill motor, which is on the back, that's going to be on, and your conveyor switch. Let's go ahead and just run through the controls real quick. This is your conveyor, so you would turn that on. Right here. Sorry. Your fill motor, turning that on. Again, that's your intensity pot and conveyor speed pot. Alright, this is your Allen Bradley panel view 300. Let's go into manual operation. This is F2. You have function keys and you have arrows. These are your up and down arrows. This is your enter key. We're going to go to F2 manual mode. You can see like a little line right here. What you do is use these arrows here to move the line. So I'm hitting the left arrow to make it go up. So there's only 2 spots here we can do, agitation and vibration. So agitation, we're going to use this down button now. You can hear that's turning on. I'm going to use my right arrow, go down. This is my vibration. We're going to turn on. And then you have your function keys. F5 is the stops. So this is for manual setting up of the bottles. Set them up in manual mode. Turn the conveyor off and set them up. F6 is your clamp. This is your bottleneck clamp. So you can set this up for your different height bottles. F7 is your lift. This is manual mode. Again, this is for setting it up. Make sure it's going under the filler head good. And that's it. I'm sorry, F1 is jog. So you can hear the motor turning. You're jogging. Jogging is if you have a little bit of product in here at the end of the day, you can jog it and get the rest of it out. All right, we're gonna exit out of there. That was your manual mode. That's all for setup. So you can set your different size bottles up. Now we're gonna go into recipe. It's F3. You're gonna name your recipe. This is your number recipe, then you're gonna name it. They named it recipe 23, but you can name it whatever you want. All you do is go in, use your left arrow to get that, there it is, it just went past it. Get that little line in front of it. You can hit enter and then go into your different names and name it. We're gonna hit the right key down. Turns, this is our recipe. So we're gonna start our recipe with turns. You can do turns of the auger or you can do time. We're gonna always do turns because it's more accurate. Turns, how many turns do you want? Well, you can go 1.02 if you wanted to. That's one full turn of the auger plus two 1/100ths of the turn. So you could set that very accurately. You're gonna basically do that. You could try like 3 turns for a size, see what you get, and then fiddle with it. Once you get it, then you don't change it. Fill timeout is after a certain amount of time of the auger running, if it runs too long, say the encoder were to fail, the fill timeout would automatically shut it down. So we set that at 10 seconds. Agitation with fill. The agitation is the blade that sweeps around the outer wall, this inner wall here, sorry. The inner wall of the hopper, it's a blade. So what you're gonna do is put that on with fill. So every time the auger turns, that's gonna turn. If you put it in continuous, or you could have it off, that won't be a help. But continuous would be all the time. And a lot of times your product, with fill is gonna be the way to go. Vibration, we're gonna turn the vibration on with the fill. You can do it all the time if you want. Or you can do it continuously, or you can have it off. Whatever you want to do. We're gonna set it with fill. You can vibrate after the fill if you want. Your product probably doesn't need to do that. Let's go ahead and just put that at 0 and enter. All right, index delay and index time. So index delay is the time it takes your container to get into the fill station. The next time is what it takes to get out. Right now we're at 1.5 seconds. That's pretty long. Your bottles are small, so you could probably make that 0.75, like somewhere in there, 0.5. That's something you're going to play with your different size bottles. Once you get the right, in the real world production line, you'll figure that out. Keep it in your recipe, and it's always going to be set. So once you're set in your recipe, you hit F8 exit. You would go into automatic operation to run it in full mode. But we're going to go into configuration real quick. So F4. Agitation off time. So if you were in continuous with your blade and you had that at 30 seconds and your blade was still turning but no auger movement, the machine would shut down. Low level delay, that's the time it takes for your level control to see the product or sense the product and then start sending a signal out to your feeder to turn on again. Right now we're at 3 seconds, it can go to whatever you want. Fill delay, it's the time it takes before your auger starts to turn. Lift hold, that's when you go up on your auger, you're going to just hold it there for a certain amount of time as you fill it. You can make that whatever you want. Clamp time, how long you want the clamp to come out for. That's all in your configuration screen. That'll be like over and above the recipe mode. You can enable or disable your lift. You can enable or disable your clamp that comes out. And that's all your configuration screen. Again, you're just going to hit like F3 to disable or enable. We're going to enable everything right now. F8's return. We're going to go into automatic mode, F1. Right now you can see we're at 1.0 turns. If you want to hit F5, so you're getting a little bit less or a little bit more of the product down the line, you can just, instead of going through the recipes, you can just hit F5 a little less or F6 a little more for your auger turns. Right now we're not running. You would hit F1 to start. Once this photo eye down here is made, see the light come on, then our cycle is going to start going. And now we have a bunch of turns. Clamp, lift, fill, lower, clamp, fill. So that's how it would run. We are going to send out a manual for you for the troubleshooting guide and everything. If you have any questions, you can give us a call. We're at 610-466-1440. I know Mike Weber is going to be setting this up for you, and we're available for him and you guys whenever if you have any questions at all. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.